So in this video, I'm going to be working up the Dresden plates. I've never actually done one. I watched another YouTuber the other day on a live, Miss Cheri. I'll link her below. And she was making them, and they're so pretty. And I watched and didn't realize how easy it was. I guess in my mind, I always thought that they were more difficult. My mom has made 2 different quilts. So the last time she came to visit, she brought me her ruler. And it is on my to-do list now to go ahead and give this a try. I'm using a Jolly Bar. When I test ran, you know, what I could get out of it, I could get 2 cuts from 1. I am double stacking, so I'm actually cutting 4 at a time. A Jolly Bar should have, I want to say 40 pieces in it, maybe 42. Either way, the Dresden block is going to need 20. So if I'm going 2 out of 40, I'm going to end up with 4 blocks, I think. Well, either way, if my math and research is correct, it should be about a 16-inch Dresden, which then I'll put on to probably an 18 or 20-inch background, turn that into like a 22-inch pillow. So my goal was Halloween throw pillows, but now if I'm actually getting 4 instead of 2, like I was originally thinking, probably do a throw pillow and a table runner, or we'll see. I could keep all 4 together and get a wall hanging, but I have a Halloween wall hanging already. So I think even 2 throw pillows and send 2 off as gifts. We'll see. But I just wanted to show the last couple of these being cut so that if you haven't tried them yet, you can see how easy this actually is. Again, I can't thank Cheri enough, because I totally just thought that they were difficult to do, and she made it look super easy. So next step. So the next step is taking my blades, folding them face to face, and sewing together the thickest part. So not the tip, but the thickest. So I will come here and I'll just do a 1/4 inch to every single one of those. I am not going to pin. I'm going to pinch and hold and start at the fold. And I will just continue through doing that. So we have our chain pieced blades that I've done that single stitch to. And you'll notice my colors on this one are orange and white. This one's white and white. This is a great opportunity to use up all those bobbins you have, you know, that are halves or quarters or whatnot. It's also time to separate them. So, of course, use your favorite tool. Some of the machines have the little blade on the left-hand side. Some like to use snips for this step. I'm going to go ahead and show off this super fun Ohio Star thread cutter. It is made by a husband and wife team out of Florida. They are sold exclusively at MK Quilts, and they come in multiple colors. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces. This little guy pops out. This opens up. You store him And now you have a traveling thread cutter. Not only can you cut on the top, but you can also cut on the two sides. This is your little snap button to keep all the layers in place. So I will just sit here for the next few minutes and slice all of these blades apart. Now for turning. I'm sure everyone has their own way of doing this. I am not a professional. I've never done these before. So you are walking through this process with me. There is one that I did. I used a turning tool. I kept my seams open and then I flipped. I have not pressed my blades yet. So I'm gonna go ahead and finger press that open, get my turning tool into that point. Try my best to hold it, but what I wanted to do was walk through a couple different turning tools with you. And there we go. I like to leave that, you know, make sure it's not all chunky and weird. We'll try another one. Go in here, press that open. This time I'm going to use my 1/2" seam guide to hold that nice and flat. Hopefully my fingers are not cooperating today. Get that in there. See, yeah, that's a nice one too. It's kind of held that point. When you look at them, they are both pointy in their own way, but he is much thinner, almost like a finger now. And he's more like a corner. So that one turned out nice. Let's go ahead and try. This one is a collar turner. It's thicker on this side. It's sharper, flatter, pointier on this side. You can even see it's almost like a knife where, you know, it's got some, I don't know. This one might be too pointy at the tip. So we'll go in here, lay it flat, spin it around. Yeah, I'm having to manipulate that corner a little bit. I think out of all three, I like the seam guide one best. It seemed to fit in there nicer. It seemed to be the correct shape. Plus, it's non-slip on this one side. And that was kind of nice to put that non-slip on that open seam. Go ahead and press. Go ahead and push into that corner. And there you go. So I will continue turning all of these. And of course, if you don't want to mess with any tools, you could just go ahead, press that seam open, use your own finger, flip it around, and there you go. Because some of us, you know, our fingers cramp, or it's hard to hold a tool and do something like this. Either way, we're going to go over to the pressing station once we're done. Ta-da. So real quickly off camera, I just went and pressed them. I did my best to keep that seam in the center. And there we go. So now's the fun part of trying to figure out my color layouts. And I think for me, what's going to be best is to separate first into colorway, well, color by color. See, and that one's reading white to me. So we have black, orange, gray, and whites. And then some of them are doubled. And so what I'll probably do, let's see here, is that gray or is that black? I think it falls more into the gray on this situation. Seeing that pretty floral, it's doubled up there. there's not as many whites that I'm already can tell. I did make a mistake earlier when I was cutting all of these. I didn't leave any out for my centers. I was so excited to just get cutting. And so now I might run into a little bit of a problem when I go to build them. I mean, I have other Halloween fabric, but the centers would have been nice in the fabrics that they came in. And looking at how many of each we have, I probably would have left the whites as the centers or the blacks, and that way, you know, I don't know. So that's where my brain is at. I'm kind of second guessing, you know, what I've done, but I just have to move on because it's already cut and sewn. That guy, it's reading white, but it's also reading gray. But then the same print is there in a different gray shade. So for example, he would have been good to leave out as my circles. Oh boy. So this should make 2 Dresdens. It's 20 a piece. This is only half of the total Dresdens. So I have my movable Martelli mat over here. We'll go ahead and try to build something. We can do, for example, where they're paired. If I have pairs. Because remember, some of them do and some of them don't. So I'm going to get a total of 4. 4 to me is either in a square like a table runner, or 4 individual projects. I'm leaning towards 4 individual projects. In the end, I'm seeing larger 1 block, let's say throw pillows, or you know, I don't know, tabletop or something of the sort. So I'm working in pairs. I'm just making sure, you know, 2 ginghams aren't touching each other. 2 florals aren't touching each other. And I would not want 2 oranges touching each other. So I am out of, even though I have another pair in the orange moons, I'm out of locations currently. I mean, I could hop. We'll see. What do we got in the gray? In the grays, I have only 1 pair. Nope, 2. I'm seeing 2. So maybe we got lucky, yo. So he is a star, and I don't want stars touching stars. I don't want the florals touching the florals. And I don't want, you know, black touching black. So how about we take out the orange star, put in the orange moons, do we like that? I kind of like that. It uses, you know, a nice variety of all the colors. I'm just not using any white blades, but I'm okay with that. So there's There's block one. I'm going to go ahead and actually sew this one up, and that way I can get through the first project and then move forward. Normally I like to do chain piecing, and I would say let's chain piece all 4. But for this one, since it's my first, since I really don't know what I'm doing, I'm going to go ahead and sew this one up. So we're going to go find a starting point, take 2 blades, stitch a 1/4 inch down, take 2 more 1/4 inch down. What I will need to do is take a picture so I remember where everything went. But either way, it is not a mirror image. It is a twin, right? So the dark black check all the way to this gray floral is the same as this check all the way to that floral. So what I'm going to do, separate by halves, start here, sew my way here, and then I'll start here and sew my way here. Then I'll come back together and keep them, you know, in order. Just wanted to pop in here real quickly. As I was pairing them, I went ahead and pressed that seam open. And then now I'm going to go and pair these, not that one, pair these guys up, and then I will press those seams open as well. So here's 1/2 of the whole Dresden circle flower with all seams pressed open. Super cute. I'm so excited for this. I'm normally a purple Halloween fan. Purples and greens and oranges. I really like this in the black, gray, orange. I can always put these onto a purple background, which would be fun. We'll see what I'm going to end up doing. I got a really fun creamy batik on sale one time, and the bats are blacks and purples. I don't know, it might clash though. That'll be a thought. So here's 1/2, just like I had separated it on that board. I'm going to go ahead and but looking at it, I think I'm off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I am off by 2. Why didn't you guys tell me? Uh-oh. Hold on. So because I had it only laid out, I didn't take into account seam allowances. See, this is how we learn. So I need a pair right here. Which pair did we remove earlier? We removed the orange stars. Well, guess what? We're going to bring the orange stars back in. So that'll be 9. That'll be 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I still need 2 more. Oh no. Right? 20 a piece. So I wasn't even counting. I was just looking at colors and textures. And the grays don't have any more pairs. The blacks don't have any more pairs. I think I made a boo-boo, you guys. And it would be really weird to bring in white right now. Now, if I would have noticed earlier, I could have brought in the white and then brought in the white again. Something like that. Should I go do that? Or leave the oranges, and then just bring in some oddballs that haven't been used yet. So he's got the skulls and bones, and this one's got the cats. That could be fun. The whole thing doesn't have to be paired in twinsies. I really don't want to bring white in yet. I think that one of these in the end will be white heavy. But in this case, I'm going to leave it those grays. Because if I brought in an oddball black, he's in a weird spot. And that's too much texture touching. So we're going to go with the 2 oddball grays for now. Which I still have, you know, a good chunks of black. And then I'll still have the 3, you know, grays. And then I'll have the scattered oranges. I sure do wish you guys could talk to me from the other end of the camera and told me, hey, don't forget to count those blades. So let's double check now. Our starting point was the check up there, or gingham, or whatever we want to call that guy. And our ending point is always going to be before him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That will now bring us to half. I'll be right back. So both sides are done, with the right amount of blades this time. So I'm just going to kind of slide it up because my camera can't seem to get the whole thing in. I'm excited for it. I think it's super fun. I'm very happy with my very first Dresden only. I could stop here and just leave this video at that, but I would rather have a finished project at the end. I know myself well enough that if I don't continue on, this will go into a box and wither away with all of its orphan block cousins. And we don't want that to happen because I really want these pillows for this coming, you know, fall season. I technically will decorate for Halloween, September, October, November. I don't just do October only. And if they turn out well enough, I might be able to throw a couple into a market booth. Because you just never know. Let's see. So here's the pair. Here's the pair. Right? We paired off what we could, and then we ran into where I needed to fill in that gap. So they're not paired, but that's okay. And if you notice, they're like not... They're not exact. Is that normal for a Dresden? I have no idea. I guess I thought that they would be, but it's the sewing world. I mean, they could be off a little, right? Because my seams, the stretching, bias cutting. Either way, it's as flat as possible without being stitched down. And that looks to me like a circle. So we got, it's a 2 3/4 opening. So 1/4 inch, so 3 1/4. So I don't know how big of a circle I need there. Plus the tucking and the turning. I'm assuming that the final visual is going to be that 3 1/4 circle. But I'm going to want to cut it 3 3/4 so that I can tuck. Yeah, 3 1/4 still. It's a little tight on this one. And that one's almost gone. So I'm going to probably want 3 1/2 to show, which means I'm going to need a 4-inch circle. Only because that guy dips really low. And he dips again there really low. And it's the same fabric, so that's kind of odd. Let me go on the hunt and see what I can find for that center. And does the center need to match the background? Do we know? I'm really new. I've never done this. Or does the center need a pop? Oh boy. Let me dig around. So if I didn't say it before, I'm a super Halloween fan. Every time I seem to get rid of like my Halloween scraps, I end up buying a lot more yardage and bundles. Obviously jelly rolls are not going to work for this. It's going to be too small. So we're just going to tuck those off to the side. What is in here? Oh, it's a kit. I built myself a bag. It's a kit. It is a So Sampler spooky box 1 year. And that does have yardage in it. Let's see what any of that might work. So it's cream as to where this fabric we're playing with is white. Push that to the side. You guys get to rummage through my Halloween here. Stripes, but that is the way wrong color. That's a panel and yardage. All of these look to be very creamy. He's white. This is a half-yard bundle, 16 SKUs and a panel. Sweet and spookier. I did go through here, I'm guessing, because I hand wrote 3 SKUs are actually spooky and witchy. So maybe I adjusted what this bundle was and took out that panel. So like on this one, the white's golden. That's great. The black, the gray, the oranges, but he's a pink flower. I really don't want to introduce another color at this moment. But so that charcoal gray with the orange. Let me get a clearer picture. I mean, does that work? That's kind of cute. It kind of blends, right? All those different grays together with the orange spider webs. We're going to hop right over the purple because we don't want to confuse ourselves. This might work as a border to the pillows. I'm definitely going to leave that out. It could work as that center as well. Okay, that's totally staying. I have it again in orange. That orange is really bright. It's not the same tone at all. I'm not going to keep that one out. I was thinking binding or borders, but no, it's screaming. It's a little too bright. We have this guy. Oh, that's fun. The orange is a little bright like that last fabric, but with it being such small scale, that's kind of cute. He's a contender. Nope, too bright. What is this? It's really, really, I know it's a textural color type of, I know it's meant to be like that, but I don't know what it's called at the moment. It's muted. I think that I would be wasting fabric if I used him in the center because the colors are just off just a little. See if any of these are white. That is not white. Okay. Oh, it's a bat. Look how cute he is. Would I get away with that? Hold on. Let's see what we got here. If I can cut him down. He might work, even though he's cream. It's not a yellow cream, right? It's just slightly off of that white. But his different shades of grays are kind of telling me yes. And his oranges are telling me yes. And he would be really cute in that center. That is a contender. Let's see what else we got. No. We could cut down a panel. So this panel is, oh, it's a bunting. Okay, well, I gotta make that now. I didn't even know that. Definitely gotta go off and make bunting after this. But these little squares, that works to me. We said 4 inches. And he's 4 inches. He. I'll have to keep the whole panel out. Now, I don't like these. So, that one's a rectangle. It's too big. The Boo Crew is purple. There might only be... There's only going to be that one square so far. And cutting this whole panel for that one square might be okay. I might be okay with that. Yeah, all the rest are the wrong colors and too big. Again, I need 4, but none of them are going to stay together because they're all going to end up in different locations. That's cute. Even though the orange is a tad off, but having those darker oranges in there tell me that that is a contender. These are cute little black cats, but the cream is too cream for me. How many we got? I have 3 plus the stars that I was thinking of for borders. And if that bordered all 4, I just need 1 more. So I have scraps in one of these boxes. If I could get a 4-inch square, which I can, but I would want to make sure that I could get a whole bat as well. It would not be a fun center if all the bats were cut off. So 4 and 4, by the time it's a 3.5. I might have to scoot that down, but see how it cuts off there. That would leave that one little bat there. If I scooted down to here, I would get him as a full bat. These are partial bats. That's a maybe. This one's got the check on the back. Oh boy, look how cute. Okay, I think I'm sold on this one being the 4th. If I cut it just right and get the skeleton in the middle, he's got the gray, the black, the orange. I could get him dancing. I could get him dancing. I could just do the spider web in the middle. Actually, this one might center better. Get him right there in the middle. Okay, that's number 4. Sold. Don't even have to figure that out anymore, because all the other ones in this box are possibly the wrong shades. The bats were cute, but when they add the little faces like that, it kind of reminds me of the kawaii, the Japanese, when you add faces to everything. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and cut up my circle. Which one's going to be for the first one, you guys? Okay. Remember, I'm going to make 4. should the first one just go ahead and be the skeleton? We'll do that. Because if I really, really, really like it enough, I might be able to just get all 4 out of that. We'll see. So I wanted to pop in. I pulled that batik with the bats down, which is fantastic. But it's not fantastic for this project. That's too muddled. The Dresden disappears. It's not going to show on that. So, guess I'll go on the hunt for more backing while I get those circles cut out. So, what do we believe when it comes to chances and fate with fabric? This would bring in those purples that I enjoy. This definitely pops. The remaining piece of this fabric is at 20-inch square with a little tail. It would be meant to be in my book. I'm going to go ahead and try to, I need a circle template. So I'm going to go ahead and go dig through my jars and go ahead and start cutting these out. Even though the skeleton is super cute, I think to make this a little bit more feminine, he might be cute there too. Yes, I'm rambling. Yes, I'm talking to myself. That is the joy of creating, isn't it? So I'm going to go ahead and cut 4-inch squares out of my circle fabric. I am going to make sure that my images are, you know, centered. So my very first one is the dancing skeleton. I started with the 4-inch square of both fabric and my stabilizer, a very lightweight stabilizer. I then found a 3.5-inch circle. I marked that, folded it into fourths, and then I trimmed 1/4 inch away. Now I'm going to go ahead and stitch, and then I'm going to stitch on the line all the way around, flip this guy over, make a slit. This is a sew and wash stabilizer. I use it for embroidery. It's soft, stable fabric designed to dissolve easily in water. Use as a base to embroider lace or freestanding embroidery. In this case, we're going to use it as a stabilizer to turn us. I'm going to stitch it down, and then with its first wash, the stabilizer will just disappear. So the first circle is done. After I sewed it, I did clip inside those seam allowances to easily turn without the bulk. Made a slit through there, pressed it. I'm hoping this is right. I did ask around, hey, is there a formula to the circles? I sent some pictures to my mom and her sewing friends and asked about the circle in the middle. Some said, don't use such a busy one. Some said, you know, use the backing, the back. Some said use the back of the project in the center. And then some said, well, it's just maker's choice. So I'm going to go ahead and just follow with my original plan. And I'm going to do maker's choice, which the dancing skeleton is too cute. Now I need to either school glue the Dresden to the background, pin the Dresden to the background. Either way, I'm going to press my large 20-inch square. I'm going to find the center and the center, and that way I can place the Dresden in the right spot. Then I'm going to start stitching. So I can either blanket stitch, which I don't have on my machine. I can top stitch a 1/4 inch, 1/8 of an inch. So what I did do was dig through all my stuff, and I found Quilter Select Free Fuse. I have used this before on table runners or wall hangings, and so I figured, why not go ahead and try it. You sprinkle it onto the base, you place your second material on top of the powdered surface. It says cover with parchment or Teflon, which I did not. I applied direct heat and pressure with the iron. Hold for at least 4 seconds, and now there is a bond set. I didn't go all the way to the edges because I didn't want it to get on my iron, but you can see there I'm stuck. It's adhered. Same over here, it's stuck after that point. So I did go ahead and sprinkle that. I worked in halves. After marking my background, I just folded half the Dresden up, put the stuff down, and then pressed. I did the same for the center guy. You can tell he can lift a little bit along the edges, but I did fuse his center. And so now, I'm happy. Pictured here is that block on that plummy purple backing with the gray stripe as the border and a large orange print as the pillow's backside. And here's my second try. I did add in some more white blades to this one. I put it on a green dot background with a different gray as the border and a large print on white and gray for the backside. Thanks so much for watching. If you can like and comment, share, subscribe is always appreciated.